My, oh my, Ajayi. It's the coach. You're locked into Madden 19 on EA Sports. Straight ahead, Jay Ajayi, fresh off 100 yards a week ago. Coming up, we'll see the visiting Arizona Cardinals taking on the Minnesota Vikings. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
And we find ourselves at the stadium that played host to Super Bowl 52, the wondrous U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Arizona Cardinals and the Minnesota Vikings. Hi again, everyone. Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. And Charles, you look at this Vikings ball club. They come in pretty desperate here for a win as they've started the year 0-5.
And it seems way too early to start talking about hot seats. But guess what? When a team is 0-5, people start wondering about their jobs.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Cardinals here, they're hitting their stride of late. Winners of 3 of their last 4.
And they look...
Set to go now in Week 6 of the NFL season, and we are underway on EA Sports. Here comes Johnson on the return. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. So here's the Viking offense making their way out as we get set to see Josh Rosen command this offense, the number 10 pick in the 2018 draft.
And this is a game for grit, determination, and somehow finding a way not to panic. What a horrible start for them. I mean, they haven't won a game yet. So now, as a quarterback, you're not just talking to your team. You've got to demonstrate to them what they need to do to win. He's got to be the leader by how he plays.
Here's the first carry for Tariq Cohen. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. No gain on the play there, second down. And the Buffet boys, the O-line, hopefully they're ready today.
Listen, you got to feed them first. But if you do, you usually get a great product out on the field. And when they play well, the quarterback can't wait to feed them afterwards.
The rush defense stout on first down. Here's 2nd and 10 from the 20.
Here we go now. 3-19.
Now they'll run it with Cohen. So he got 3 on 1 tackle, but couldn't do a whole lot else. The linebacker, Derek Johnson, in on the stop. A look now at the defensive starters for the Cardinals. They were excellent in that win over the 49ers last week.
This defense has a lot to be proud of coming off of the game they played last week. When you only give up 14 points in a game, not only do you give your team a chance to win, you fully expect to win because you figure your offense is going to score more than that.
So trouble already here on their opening drive. This is 3rd and 9.
Set. 3-19. 3-19.
Out of the gun, here's Josh Rosen. He's going to air one out. Well, this is taken in. It's complete. They give him a gain of 37.
Well, sometimes our pregame meetings do pay off, don't they? What do the guys in the locker room call him?
Well, they said it with a chuckle. They called him old reliable.
Yeah, that means he doesn't move quite as fast as he used to, but he still knows all the tricks, doesn't he? Even that little gentle push-off in order to get open, he finds a way to pick up a first down.
Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. And he got off the end there very quickly to make that play.
Yeah, it was almost like the bullet train, wasn't it? I mean, just zoom. Quick, quick, quick. And what a terrific play, holding them to no gain.
Back-to-back stops make it 3rd and 10.
And Brandon, every running back wants to use their speed in order to get out in front of things. Sometimes you just have to be patient, let blocks develop. On that play, that didn't happen.
He's going to loft this one deep left sideline. So they took a shot there on 3rd down, couldn't get it. Now it's 4th.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
Online, but off the crossbar, no good. A long-range effort denied 3 points at the very end. Well, now they'll start 3 yards shy of midfield after that long 57-yard miss. All things considered, a pretty good kick. Just cruel punishment there to be denied by the crossbar.
If you're going to hit from that distance, sometimes you're going to need a little luck. And unfortunately for him, this time the break goes against him.
7 yards on the play, and it's a second down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Now, meanwhile, here's a second down throw that's knocked away and incomplete.
Now, that's a great play defensively, and one thing we do know, both of the corners are going to face a lot of action in this game, where that offense likes to fling it around.
The safeties, they better be ready to be engaged as well. So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3.
190, 380, 300, 300.
Now it's the Boise State alum, Jay Ajayi. And he won't get to the markers. They're going to stop it for a second straight play right at the line of scrimmage.
All right, quick observation, Brandon, because early on in this game, I'm seeing linebackers playing their noses close to the line of scrimmage.
And my guess is the wheels are turning on that other sideline. As a play caller, you're filing that away right now, aren't you?
Yeah, you're trying to find that opportunity later on when you can play action them or stick something to them between the 2nd and the 3rd level.
Now Jordan Berry on to kick this one away. Back deep, Tariq Cohen. And now out comes Minnesota. And they were in field goal range last time out, but couldn't connect.
And it's early in the game, so I don't think that the confidence just goes entirely out of, running your kicker back out there. But let's face it, some coaches have a little bit less patience for that than others. Let's see if they call the game differently now in terms of what they do on drives and not try and settle for field goals.
4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. Play action here with Rosen. He's got the hook up to Dylan Cantrell. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. It's his first catch, and it'll be good for 15 and a first down.
And another thing that makes the comeback route really effective is that oftentimes after you've made the initial move, receivers breaking away from the defensive back, and that makes it a really tough play to defend. A nice chunk of yardage picked up there.
And he'll get it across midfield and down into Cardinal territory. The success there, Charles, coming on the outside of the field, the ground game. Curious to see if that continues as we progress.
Yeah, we often talk about a variety in play calling and usually between run and pass. But in this case, with strictly the run game, you can be creative there as well. Run it inside, run it outside, keep the defense off balance.
And he's going to be stopped up at about the 47-yard line. It'll be a gain of 2 on the play, but they'll remain a few inches short here with 3rd down looming. They run. This is Cohen. And he's going to have a first down as he's brought down at the 44-yard line. 3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving.
When you're dead last in the NFL in 3rd down conversions, the odds are against you every time you face it. How about him picking up that one? That was big for them.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. And the pass complete to Ryan Grant. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the 1st down completion.
Here we go now.
On 2nd down, Johnson. And he won't get much. Maybe a couple. Down inside the 35 to the 34.
Vision is so important for the man in the middle because his ability to look through all the clutter that's happening in front of him, diagnose a play, and then go make it and finish it, that's when the great ones know that they have the goods.
Give him 6 yards, and they do convert on 3rd.
Brandon, what were they thinking on defense there? They looked like they were playing for the pass. That was 3rd and short. Yeah, it was an easy pickup because they handed it to him. That was way too easy.
Just looked like absolute confusion defensively. Not sure why they were in that set.
Yeah, I'd say you should have a few men in the box there.
The rushing numbers last week for Cohen. 17 carries, 70 yards.
They've lost a bunch of games in a row now. They've got to start thinking a little bit differently, maybe a little bit outside of the box. Find other ways to move the football. I don't know if you're going to do it through the air or or maybe change up how you establish your run game.
That good for 6 as they keep this drive right on rolling.
What I love about watching the passing game nowadays is that the one-dimensional receiver is really starting to leave the game. You've got to be able to do it all. Of course, you got to run fast. Of course, you got to catch the ball. But route running savvy and toughness, there's a premium for all of that now.
It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. Pretty effective run there, and now they can start to smell that end zone.
Pound the rock. Make sure you use your O-line to set the tone of dominance and physicality, and pound the rock.
This is Cohen, and this time not as successful as he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. Call it no gain that time as it's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 3 to go.
All right, here we go.
Rosen to throw on 3rd down. This will be caught at about the 5. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. Ryan Grant, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Vikings have taken a first-quarter lead. And there they got him the ball. Just get it to him, let him do the rest.
You know, he probably said that to his quarterback as he broke the huddle. I like the play call. Just get it to me. I'll take care of the rest of it.
Helping out his rack, right? RAC.
Run after catch, and he loves that, and he's going to carry that in at contract time.
Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field. They punted last time they had it. What steps, Charles, do you think they have to take to make sure they don't do that again?
Well, let's just go to the football 101, the trade expression 101. Win first down. Make 5, 6, 7 yards on first down and make it a 2nd and 3, 2nd and manageable. Keep accumulating first downs that way. Keep moving the football. You don't want to get behind the sticks because then the defense has the advantage.
He was all over that route defensively. Now, they had 2 picks last week as a unit. Couldn't quite grab that one.
Patience, Grasshopper. Patience. It's early in this game, but you like the fact that they're around the football early. They're going to be upset they didn't haul that one in, but at least they're there at the moment of truth to make a play on it.
By the way, where did the grasshopper thing come from? I know it's been around for a long time.
Yeah, you know, I'll have to tell you that some other time.
All right, back to football. Throwing Rivers. They set up the screen to Ajayi. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. Only 2 on the screen pass there, and it'll be 4th down.
Well, the good thing about covering any game I do with you is I know that there's no problem with rhythm. Now, what we're watching offensively, a little bit of a problem there.
Yeah, punt on the first drive, looking at another one here. Just a little slow. You know, they were talking about a fast start, but that hasn't been the case.
Yeah, and let's face it, any team we cover always talks about a fast start.
That's true.
But it's not necessarily going to
3,
happen just
3,
because they
9,
say so.
3,
And whether it's the script, whether it's, you know, just what they're going through, whether they're seeing different defenses, they're going to have to figure it out as this game moves on.
And incomplete, he dropped it. Maybe a rookie mistake there, 2nd down. Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
Oh, nearly picked. And maybe lucky there. This guy doesn't drop many defensively. 3rd down.
Oh, man, that was close. The opportunity to change momentum, big play, right in his hands, unable to come down with it.
A sigh of relief, no doubt, on offense if that fell harmlessly to the ground. And the pressure will bring him down here. The Cardinals get home for the sack. Melvin Ingram. He's the one that gets him down. It'll be a loss of 5, and it'll bring up 4th down. He probably feels like he cannot get a break. He was sacked 7 times last week. And here we go again in the first quarter.
And we always talk about the internal clock of a quarterback in the pocket and how he has to have a real keen sense of it in order to get rid of the football. After being sacked 7 times last week, that clock has been sped up.
They run with Ajayi. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. There are the numbers last week for Jay Ajayi. There isn't a coach alive who wouldn't like those numbers. Well over 100 yards and a touchdown, too.
Partner, I think all the coaches who are in that great coaching box in the sky would take those numbers.
So dead or alive?
Either way, they would take that kind of production.
Ready to go now in the second quarter. Brandon Gaudin, Charles Davis. It's the Cardinals in possession of the football. They've got it 2nd and 4 to start things out. They go play action. Rivers. And he's going to be hit and taken down. Back right around the 48-yard line.
Let's go.
I know there'll be a little bit of criticism there because they went right back to the air after the huge pickup and ended up getting sacked. That's often a play that you make. You feel like you've got momentum on your side.
Unfortunately, the O-line failed to hold up to try to keep that momentum going. Catch here, left side, Thomas. His first catch, and it's a pretty big one. They get the conversion on third down.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
The stop for no gain brings up 2nd and 10 from the 20. Now a second down throw for Rivers. Got a man over the middle. It's Williams. And he works it to the 30-yard line here, right at the 30. That catch good for 5. It's third down.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
Rivers on first down. And it's caught over the middle. Wilson. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. The completion good for 3, and it's second down. And that's one of his advantages of a passer, is now with his height, setting back there in the pocket, firing it over the middle, he can really see everything clearly.
It is, and I know that other quarterbacks get it done different ways, all right? You don't have to be his height to make a great play, but what he does is he takes away having to make those slide steps in the pocket to find angles to throw the ball through. He just throws right over the top of it because he can see everything, and sometimes that saves time and gets the ball to a receiver quicker.
Got a man, it's complete. Williams. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Arizona. In for the score. And the Cardinals are just an extra point away from tying this game. And on that one, able to catch it, also able to have the wherewithal to take it in for the score.
And how about the phases of a successful catch and a completion of a play? Look the ball in, secure the catch, and then, of course, the run after the catch that ends up in the end zone.
Now here's Johnson. Now the Vikings offense works their way back onto the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. 10 yards there to start the drive, and just enough by about the length of the football for a first down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
That goes down as a loss against his rushing stats. But really, should he have to absorb that one? He had no chance on that play before they overwhelmed him.
Pretty much on top of him before he could take his first step. And now it's Rosen looking. Open man is Cantrell. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be third down.
All right, here we go.
Rosen off the play action. He's going to float this one deep right side. Got a man that's caught at the 6-yard line. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Dylan Cantrell, his second touchdown on the season. And the Vikings are able to strike for 6. That was a nice little setup there off play action for the long touchdown pass.
Yeah, I got to tell you, it brings back bad memories for a guy like me as a former defensive back, because in a playbook I knew a long time ago, we described that play pattern as draw pass 9 go, meaning fly pattern after the play action pass, try and hit him for the deep ball, and boy, were they successful on that one. So tough because his speed is so great. You've got to make sure you don't miss any cues or keys in order to try and keep up with him.
Draw past 9 go. That's still a nightmare to this day.
Yeah, I still wake up in the middle of the night and feel the guy going past me.
Here's a handoff to Ajayi to begin the drive. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
And he'll be brought down right around the 37. It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well.
Even though they gave up more than they wanted to on that play, it actually illustrates how well they bottled him up throughout the game because that was his longest run of this contest.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. And we've got movement by one of the big boys up front for Arizona. Flag comes in.
False start, offense.
Maybe anticipating a blitz, and they jumped.
Yeah, and if we saw it, you know that they saw it. The bad guys might have been coming on that play. Had to pick them up, and they jumped.
The false start backs them up 5, 1st and 15. Here's Ajayi. Found a little room there as he's up to about the 37. It's a 5-yard pickup, so essentially they get the penalty yardage back, and it's back to 2nd and 10.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
Room to run past midfield. Oh, look at Thomas wide open. And he's going to get this into enemy territory at the 45. He goes for 18 there as the drive will continue. Well, clearly one of his advantages as a passer is his height. Sit back in the pocket, fired over the middle. That makes things tougher defensively, doesn't it?
It really does because your goal is to move the quarterback off his initial spot when he gets his drop back completed. But when you have that type of height, he can stay in there if he's willing to take the hits and just fire over the top, which saves him time and actually completes a play a little bit quicker than it normally does for a quarterback who has a slide and find open space to throw.
Rivers to throw it. Throw right side, complete to Williams. That'll be enough to keep the drive moving forward. Another first down on the pickup of 5 yards.
What terrifies defenses when they see slant routes thrown is that the receiver is on the move, and oftentimes he catches it and gets upfield. Does a really nice job rallying to him and stopping him for a minimal gain.
Stops short of the 25. The nice move couldn't ultimately free him. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
Completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so that you can have people around the ball when it's caught, and you don't give up much run after the catch.
And his rough afternoon continues. He's going nowhere again.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
And he will have the first before he's brought down right on the chalk of the 20. Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs.
That's quite a spot there for his first carry of the game, but obviously they had plenty of faith in him, didn't they?
No question about it. And here, why not go with the fresh legs? Able to push forward, pick up that first.
False start, offense.
Had some momentum going, driving down the field. That'll set him back 1st and 15.
I mean, that type of play, when you've got to go in your direction, shoot, my man Old Mo is arching an eyebrow at him right now. You've got me going. Keep me going.
And he's going to go down here, a sack. They push him back to the 34. They've been moving the ball well offensively, really getting into a groove. Last play, pass completion. Now, finally, the defense gets there.
And you have to find a way to disrupt their rhythm. Do you do it with coverage, or do you do it with pressure? They elected to go with pressure, and it was the right call.
So 2nd and long, and got to be careful not to fall out of field goal range. From the shotgun, it's Rivers. Drops it on to Ajayi. A big game there after going backwards, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
Call that a loss of 5 yards on the play. And that'll lead here to a 3rd down. Throwing, Rivers. And this is going to be incomplete.
I think that was a good job there defensively. They did allow him to drive all the way downfield, but once they got their backs to the goal line, they really turned up the pressure.
Yeah, they let him get all the way down here. Now the field shrinks. They've struggled to convert, and that last incompletion brings up 4th. And Hauschka's kick is good. And they'll cut the lead back down to 4 now at 14-10. So a good kick there, and they put the bow tie on it with 3 points.
And let's face it, everybody wants a touchdown. We know that. But in the NFL, defenses are awfully good. You're not going to score each and every time. Be able to knock the ball through the post and take the throw.
By the way, I said bow tie. I meant just bow. Not the tie, but yeah.
Either way.
You got it.
I just went right past it.
And now out comes Minnesota. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline. Because when you score a touchdown, you have to go up and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
A good pickup there at 22. They'll look to throw on 1st down with Josh Rosen. Pressure, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back right around the 44. Muhammad Wilkerson with a great push up front. He picks up the sack and a loss of 8. And no matter what the situation, the O-line just hates that because they feel like they didn't protect Little. And the pressure gets to him again. And now maybe they want some extra time to talk about this 3rd and long play as we'll get a timeout. As they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. Now Cohen. And a good swarm to the football defensively as they get him down at about the 40. And now here's a timeout defensively coming from the Cardinals. As the clock will stop with 55 seconds to go until halftime. Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk is a big decision here.
Rivers now looking left side and completing it to Thomas. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. Give him 3 yards and a fresh set of downs. Rivers looking left sideline, but it's incomplete. He was looking for Tyreek Hill that time. And now it's 2nd down.
The one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown him a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after him. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. And a big loss here as he's taken down. And another timeout called by the Vikings now. As the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go here in the first half. Now it's Ajayi. And a short pickup there as he'll take this up to right around the 20. The Vikings going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in this first half of action. Here's Jordan Berry now as he's on to punt for Arizona. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. It's taken to the 26. Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15, and there'll be time for maybe one final play before halftime. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. final play of the half here. It's Rosen. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Jordan Lewis. So we've reached halftime here in Minnesota with the Vikings on top. As we see an abbreviated halftime show as we get rolling to quarter 3. Now it's Wilson. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. So here's the Cardinals offense now as they get set to start this third quarter. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play. It's vitally important to wrap him up immediately because if you let that big guy get ahead of steam up, boy, then you've got real trouble trying to get him down.
But they're able to hold him to a short gain on first down. And he'll slip his way up across the 30 to the 32. Just a couple on the pickup there, and now it's third down.
I have to think a major focus of the halftime meetings had to be figuring out how to create space for the running game to get operating.
Well, what you pointed out to me at half seems accurate. That line has struggled to sustain blocks.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. They've got to focus on staying on their double teams at the first level, make sure that block's secure before they slide off and try and chip someone at the second level. And we just saw another example. These cornerbacks have played tight coverage all game long. Might start wanting to think about a few double, triple move routes to try and shake their guys free.
You're right. They have no room to breathe. Nearly a huge return as it is. Still a very good one. 24 yards. And the Vikings will take over here first and 10. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a first and 10. They'll start things on first with Torrey Cohen. And able to get a couple as he's across the 40 to the 41. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
Now it's Rosen. He hits West underneath. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. Call it a 3-yard gain, and it'll be third down. A good way there to have him bounce back from the interception last drive. Something underneath, a little bit of rhythm going.
I know the best ones in the league have supreme confidence, but every now and then you need a little booster, don't you? This is their way of protecting him and bringing him back, and then they'll turn him loose later, I would think.
They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up fourth down. And that'll hit in the end zone. Much too much leg there. That'll be a touchback.
Ready.
First down, Rivers. Over the middle here to Wilson. And they'll bring him down here up at about the 22-yard line. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse.
The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. And on that one, the protection just broke down.
You've got to have that leverage, don't you? We always talk about low man wins in the running game for an offensive lineman versus a defensive lineman. It's essentially the same thing in pass protection. Get lower than that defensive lineman so that you can keep your balance and keep him away from your guy trying to throw the football.
The fourth down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on first down.
All right, here we go.
They'll start with a give to Cohen. And an alley to run. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first.
Whenever we meet with coaches and they always talk about wanting to establish running the football, It's oftentimes with a good tight end who can control the line of scrimmage and the point of attack, and they're becoming harder to find because the colleges are giving us a whole lot of receiving tight ends, former wide receivers who can run, not necessarily block very well. In this case, though, we saw 2 tight ends on the field, both of them with the ability to block, and he ran the ball successfully behind that power set.
Now Rosen. And that'll be incomplete. Greg Olsen was the intended target, and it's 3rd down.
When you see passes knocked down by those guys I call the frustrated fullbacks, the linebackers, you know that in their zone coverage, they were able to drop, see the ball thrown, and react to it very quickly.
3rd and long here for Rosen. Under pressure here, and down he goes. Sacked back at about the 43-yard line. Muhammad Wilkerson in there to pick up his 2nd sack now of the afternoon. 3rd and long, defense with no fear. They brought the pressure.
Zero fear at all. That means they feel really good about the guys who are going to cover. And the biggest one is they think their pressure will get there before he has a chance to find an open receiver.
They'll begin the drive with a J. Fights forward for only about a yard up to the 21.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
2nd and 9 now from the 21. They run again with a J. And the window closes quickly. He'll only get up to the 22-yard line. Only a yard in the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive. Now Rivers. And to the left side here, Wilson. Give him 8 yards on the play, and they pick up the 1st. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. This is a J. And he'll get this up only to about the 33. He was brought down by Devon Kennard.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
False start, offense.
And that'll set them back 5. And that false start penalty is certainly not helping their cause here. 2nd down and long. From the gun, Rivers. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Williams. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 13 yards as the quick slant keeps the drive moving. And they'll go on the ground. And he'll be taken down just shy of midfield. A good run there on 1st down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2.
Hey, when you get good yardage like that on 1st down, it really does a whole lot of good for your entire offense. But I love the way he's finishing those runs. At the end of things, he's making sure he gets just a little bit extra.
2 yards on the pickup there, but it's enough to give him a new set of downs.
Was that a receiver? Yeah, actually it was. There's a running back who was a receiver on the play. I think he's been spending time in the receiver drills getting his feet down.
Well, those guys out of the backfield, they got to be good, agile with their feet. He showed the agility there with a toe tap.
No doubt about it. It's like he'd went to ballet school. Got the toes down and stayed in bounds. Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
Throw left side, taken in by Hill. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. 11 more yards there, and this methodical drive continues. Rivers now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. Now they try the right side here. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. Back-to-back 11-yard gains, and they've got another 1st down.
But I remember a coaching friend of mine used to tell his running backs before games, make sure you run and jog with your offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking when those big behemoths start to create space for you up front. He did a pretty good job of just following those guys through there for a nice explosive run.
They get 10 more there, and I believe that'll be enough for another first down. It will.
I hope we give enough respect to the big guys up front because they have been getting it done on this drive. The holes have been large, and they've been barreling through and picking up first.
He's got his man. It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Arizona. As his guys are in for 6, and the Cardinals are in for 6. Such an art to dot the I, just get the feet in right there against the line before going out of bounds.
Such an incredibly graceful, athletic play, but also a lot of practice goes into it. They work on that to make sure that they learn how to train their feet to get down inbounds.
Here comes Johnson on the return. And they'll have good starting field position as he's up just shy of the 40. Now the Vikings offense gets set to take over here. And last time out they had to punt the football away. Anything positive possibly to take from that?
There always is when you're punting the football away. It doesn't sound like it because you're giving it up, but you've avoided a mistake.
At least you didn't turn it over.
You didn't turn it over, right? You're giving your defense a chance because you're punting the ball away, and they're set to go on the field as opposed to sudden change after a turnover. And wow, now we got to go out there and stop people. So, yeah, there's always something positive to be gained from it.
And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this third quarter. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just a field goal separating these two teams as we get set for the fourth quarter.
All right, here we go. Green.
On first down, it's Rosen. And caught left side, Olsen. Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9.
Got to give credit where it's due. Really nice defense on that play. The pitch and catch was successful, but not any run after it.
Now let's go. Green, 39.
On 2nd down, Rosen. Brought in over the middle by Bryant. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
All right, here we go. 3-19.
Rosen to throw on 3rd down. Green flexing his muscle, and that is incomplete.
Okay, I'm not quite sure how to judge that one. Maybe didn't have enough legs underneath him. Mechanics might have been off. Maybe some fatigue. That one came up short.
Yeah, fourth quarter, maybe you do start to watch as the arm there, the leg's still there. This has been a tough game. And this is good. He got just enough to clear the crossbar as he drops it in from long distance. And in the fourth quarter, this game is tied. I tell you, the life of a kicker. He has not been called on the entire game. He's over there by the net, but they send him out here in the fourth quarter and say, hey, go tie the game, will you? And guess what? He comes through.
I just don't know how they do it. I really don't. These cats are a different breed from you and me. That's a pressure kick, but that one was never in doubt.
Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch. They go play action here on first down. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. And got his man complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A good pickup there, 26 yards. From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 47. They go play action. Rivers. And he's going to be swallowed up. Sacked back at the 45-yard line. Chris Long in there to get him his 2nd sack now of the afternoon. He was trying to keep his eyes downfield. Nobody came open.
He was trying to do everything that he had been taught, right? Every bit of the technique. But if no one's open, there is no technique except make sure you hold on to it.
It's caught inside the 25. And that one results in 35 yards.
Not the tallest receiver on the field, but he just shouted to admit that the little guy can't go downfield and make a big-time catch on a deep pass because sometimes they'll just out-scrap you for the football.
From the red zone now, Rivers. And it's caught over the middle. Wilson. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. Working out of the gun, Rivers. That's caught. It's Thomas. And here he'll get it down to the 7. They call his number again. It's his 6th catch and a first down.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch.
And that is caught. Touchdown, Cardinals. Phillip Rivers with his 3rd touchdown pass of the game. And the Cardinals have broken the tie. A diving catch for the score. He laid out. That was special.
And you know the first thing they're going to check, right? Did he complete the process of the catch? All the way through, all the way to the ground. Ball doesn't hit the ground without control in his hands. All of that, yes. Check the box. Touchdown.
And out now come the Vikings. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. This quarterback now a perfect 8 for 8 to start the second half. Not bad. 1st and 10. Here's Rosen. Over the middle, complete. That's Grant. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks. Now Rosen on 1st down. Open man is Cantrell. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or 2 shy of the 30. Another nice gain, 16 yards there and a 1st down again.
One of the selling points of the in route is it gives the quarterback a really nice sight line to his receiver and almost on a direct shot able to throw the ball into the middle of the field and have a great chance of success as they did on that play.
Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
Oh, boy, partner, did that just happen? I've got my hand over my eyes right now because, like him, it's going to haunt my dreams, too. He was wide open. How did he overthrow him there?
Defensively, just very lucky. You know that they got away with one there. They'll leave it for Cohen, complete. And they'll be inside the 25 now at the 24. Call it a pickup of 7, and they're going to face a 3rd down. Cool under pressure right there, escaping the pocket and finding what I think was not his primary target.
And some of these guys are just so comfortable getting outside of the pocket that they'll do it on purpose. It doesn't even need to be a breakdown. They move, and they know it affects the defense because a lot of times you get lost in coverage in the secondary. And I think you're exactly right. Wasn't his primary target. Found a secondary guy who sprang open, probably because of his movement out of the pocket.
A gain of 3, 2nd down.
Hurry up, here we go.
This is West. And this play gets blown up. They'll lose yardage back at the 17. That'll go as a loss of 5. And that's going to lead to a 3rd and 11.
It's real easy to say this running game needs to be better, but the reality is they've been given little time to actually find a place to run the football. It's almost like the defense is there on the handoff.
And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. He loses 4, and it brings up 4th. Well, that play was doomed right from the start.
They just about ran into every defender on that one, didn't he? It felt like everyone got a piece of that tackle.
So an interesting call there to take the 3. I mean, I guess they're thinking that their hands were tied, but, 4th quarter, that field goal might not help them that much in the end.
Yeah, eventually they're going to need the touchdown. The thinking must have been they didn't feel confident about picking it up there, hoping maybe on defense they can get better field position, get a turnover, get a better play, and then they'll have a chance to attack the end zone.
Now
They'll start out on the ground with Ajayi. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. The drive starting play, a good one. Give him 19. Well, that looked like an example of what you said back in the first half. A running back of his size can really wear down a defense. I think he's starting to do that.
I think you're exactly right. And know what else he's doing? He's inspiring the rest of his team because they see this starting to happen as well. So that means they're going to redouble their efforts to help him out. Extra blocking, getting downfield, helping him out.
The fourth quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Smart football. Keep the clock grinding. Keep it going. But you got to figure now, they're going to see more people stacked up at the line of scrimmage as they try and bleed it out.
That one good for 12 yards. And that'll bring up what looks to be a third and inches. Can't be more than a half a foot.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there. I'm going to tackle this guy. By the fourth quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down fourth quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. The Vikings offense now heading out to take over. They'll look to throw on first down with Josh Rosen. His throw incomplete. Virgil Green is tight end, the intended receiver. And that'll bring up second down. A little too much oomph, too much mustard there on that pass.
They really turned it loose, didn't they? Really cut loose with that one. Sharp, strong.
There goes Green. He's at the 40. Past the 20. Touchdown, Vikings. Virgil Green, his first touchdown on the year. And the Vikings have taken the lead here in the fourth quarter. Well, they were back in the shadows of their own goalpost, and that flipped quickly.
So much for playing it safe. I mean, the conservative, easy call, run the football, take care of it, create some space, pump the ball away, but no, let's throw it. And sometimes a defense's aggressiveness is used against them because when you've got people backed up, your natural inclination is to try and really force them back, and sometimes they get burned that way.
And they got burned there. A first down throw here for Rivers. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. That's a good way to start the drive. 17 yards and a first down. He's been a busy man here in this one, and they're showing off some nice footwork to stay in bounds.
And with those types of catches and the volume that we've seen in this game, wouldn't you keep him busy as well?
I would.
Of course. You got to keep throwing it to him. He keeps making plays.
Oh, he got position on him, and he pulls it in. A good pick up there of 20 yards.
Heady on that one, huh? Getting out of bounds before the 2-minute warning. They get an extra timeout, extra opportunity to move the ball downfield. Very smart football.
Rivers. He's got Wilson, middle of the field. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. So the Cardinals, they've got the football here as we get you reset. They come up on a second down now in a game that looks like it's going to go down to the wire. So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on first down. They'll look to throw. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Hill. And he'll take this one in for the Arizona touchdown. Tyreek Hill with now 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns. And the Cardinals have taken the lead here in the fourth.
Wow, I know it's a never-say-never situation, but to me, that looks like that's the one that's going to finish them off.
The score that puts them in front here late, but now you got to rally your kick team, don't you, and say the last thing we need is a big return.
And what happens is guys get overeager, get out of their lane because they're so excited they want to make the last tackle. You mess up, could come back at you a long way.
Well, the Vikings now heading onto the field. And they will simply, Charles, be looking to duplicate what they did last drive when they were able to push it in for 6.
And they hope it'll be that easy, right? To be able to take exactly what happened before, replicate it. They may have to make a few additional changes along the way because I'm sure the defense will make some adjustments, but they've got to have great confidence having scored the last time out.
Give them 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give them a first down. Back to throw. Toward the left sideline, but it's incomplete.
Offside. Defense.
And that one was relatively easy to see. I noticed that from up here.
Yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot, does it? Sometimes you get multiples. What I always love on these offsides is when each side points at the other. Hey, you did it. No, you did it. They deciphered that one correctly.
He'll look to throw. And they've got the hook up. This is Olsen. 7 yards there. Good enough to move the sticks. First down now, but that clock rolling. Back to throw. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. And a nice gain of 21 yards. He's back to throw. He's going to dump that off to his running back, Cohen. And down inside the 15 he goes. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first. Throwing now is Rosen. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be second down.
Well, we're not playing 3 yards in a cloud of dust football anymore. I kind of get why those old-school coaches sometimes didn't want to throw the football. Because if it's popped up in the air, it almost turns into slow motion, and both sides trying to get to the football, and you're holding your breath wondering whether it's going to go good or bad for your team.
Now a second down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete. The way he's throwing the football today, almost a surprise when he doesn't complete a pass like having there, but he needs a few more to get his guys downfield.
Well, the way he's throwing it leads him to believe that he's going to get those completions. And that means the guys going out for passes, they'll run even harder because they expect it as well.
Meanwhile, on third down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete. So this defense, they looked a little shaky to start the drive. The bottom line, they're a play away from finishing it off.
They rocked them a little bit on this drive, didn't they? But as you and I both know, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. They have a chance to end it right here.
Now on fourth down here, that pass knocked away and incomplete.
Fourth down, and they take to the air, which really isn't a major surprise. But how about the coverage there, able to bat it down?
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And a nice gain there as he'll be taken down just shy of the 20. And now the Vikings are going to stop it here on defense with a timeout, as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in the game. They stay on the ground. Again, it's Ajayi. And he'll take this one up to about the 23. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with 13 seconds left to play. And they'll go ground game here with the tailback. And a great effort there to shed the contact, and it helps him pick up the first. And the clock will now stop as a timeout is called with 5 seconds left. And they take a knee. A lot of scoring. There's no doubt about that in this one, Charles. Points, they were not at a premium. They were pretty easy to come by.
They were, but it was fun, wasn't it? Because both teams finding ways to click. And you know people who love this game, they also love baseball games that are 14-11 with 3 or 4 home runs mixed in.
So for the Cards, their good start continues as they get their record up to 4-2. And they'll be back home next week to take on the Denver Broncos. Meanwhile, for Minnesota, the downward spiral continues as they drop to 0-6 now. And they'll try and turn things around next week as they have a date at MetLife Stadium with the New York Jets. So that'll do it for us. For my partner, Charles Davis, and all the hard-working men and women on our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL right here on EA Sports. From Minneapolis, so long, everybody.